Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another show talking about supplements. Today, we're going to be talking about my 10 toxic ingredients in supplements. So, I'm going to jump on here real quick. Let me know how you guys are doing in the morning. This morning, you know what we do is I really like this. We've been doing some live coaching calls with our MAP members and group calls. And what we do is we ask everyone to start off with a moment of gratitude or their win. So why don't we do that? If you're watching here live, why don't you share your win in the comments? Oh, it says looks like Dorothy is now live. Looks like I logged in with Dorothy's account. I'm okay with that. That's all good. We'll get Nick. He's probably gonna jump in here and tag everyone. So, moment of gratitude. Let's share a moment of gratitude. If you're listening as a podcast or some of these shows, we're streaming live in our private Facebook groups. We've been throwing up on Exploring Mind and Body, which is our radio show and podcast. I think it's pretty cool actually that we can house or store all of our shows on one platform. So all of them go on exploringmindandbody.com, and those get put out as a podcast. And we also put them on a number of radio stations across the world, which is super cool if you ask me, in my humble opinion. So, moment of gratitude. So if you're listening, you can just think of what you're grateful for. My gosh, you know what? I feel like one of the things that I'm more grateful for at this point is it's usually business, right? And I could probably list a bunch of business things, but I feel like Dorothy said, you've been more present in the evening more recently. What was happening, like what's going on. And like I don't think we've been quiet about how much we work. Like we work all the time, and we have big goals and big dreams and things that we want to do together and as a family, and that takes time and effort, and that takes growth from business and increased sales and revenue, and that's how it works. That's how we feed ourselves. It's not like we get a salary or someone else is paying us. So I always feel like the harder we work, the more opportunity there will be for other enjoyment or other pleasures in life. I'm okay with that. Other enjoyment or other pleasures in life. I'm okay with that. Other enjoyment. So sorry, I'm just checking my phone to make sure we're in the right group and to see if I can see comments, because I sorry, my apologies. At any rate, so my win. So you, in most cases I work from when I wake up till I go to sleep. there's a few breaks in there, but I also enjoy working, so it's not really that much of a chore, I suppose you could say. At any rate, I still want to be there for my family, and now that we have a little one and we have a growing family, it's important to be there for my family, not just for clients. And I mean, I really appreciate our clients more than anything, and the thing is, like, when we try to show our gratitude, like we wouldn't be able to live the life we live without our clients. Like our clients pay our bills, right? I mean, not like we offer products and services, and because of our customers and clients, that's how we're able to live this life of working where we want, when we want. When is always. So that's why we brought up the hours of operation, because we want to have more family time, and sometimes like we're busier than ever, so we need to take a step back and take a step back from work and just have family time. And it sounds funny, but it's a newer concept. And I guess it was nice that Dorothy showed her appreciation and recognized those efforts of that. You know what, I've been working really hard during the day, probably harder than usual because I haven't been extending hours late into the evening. So often I'm up till 8 or 9, 7 or 8 as a minimum, answering questions, talking to people about health, wellness, fitness, supplements, whatever it is. And that's, of course, that's time away from our family. And I realized that's not fair for our family to always put our customers first and never ourselves. So I guess that's where, again, our hours of operation came from. And then on top of that is taking a step back in the evenings and being more present with family. So that's my win for this week, and I'm going to continue on with that and keep pushing forward in that regard. But I wanted to get into this top supplement. So I wrote this out. I made a chart or a one-sheeter, and I sent this out as a free opt-in for some of our people. Actually, it wasn't an opt-in. When I say opt-in, I mean often you'll have a one-sheeter, but you ask for someone's email, phone number, and then in return you get a free, what do you call it, document, let's say, for lack of a better term. And that it wasn't an opt-in. We put on one of our groups, one of our Facebook groups. They said, who wants to know the toxins that we stay away from ourselves and the ones that we recommend staying away from? And a bunch of people raised their hands. So I said, okay, I'll put together this document. So I don't think I've done specifically a live on it, but I'm going to go through that list right now, and we can talk about it, and I can give you my insight or my opinion, and we can have a conversation. You're more than welcome to ask questions. I mean, to be 100% honest with you, our standard of what's healthy and what isn't is extreme. Like well, I'm going to go through these with you, and I'll tell you what we stay away from, and a lot of people wouldn't, or even experts. I use experts in quotations. They'll tell you that these are okay to consume, but that's just not how we live, and it's not what we recommend. And we understand that everyone's not on that same page, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that's what's going to change our opinion of what we do, but maybe some of these things you'll consider staying away from to improve your health. And we do a lot of work around digestion, energy levels. And the problem here is that a lot of people lack energy levels because of digestion. So, and it's quite interesting. Like, most people I talk to will say my food is pretty good. Most people say I'm pretty good with nutrition. I struggle with fitness. That's what I usually hear. And then we look at food journals, and we look at ingredients and what people are consuming, how much food, when, and it's really all over the place. And the thing is like, it's relevant, right? Like, everyone has a different opinion of what is good, like what is good nutrition. Everyone has a different opinion of different levels, like, and a lot of times people are like 80-20, like, oh, I followed the 80-20 rule. And then we look at their food journal, and we have further conversations, and in my opinion it looks like it's 20-80, 20% good, 80% whatever you want, which is why I don't really believe in the 80-20 rule when it comes to nutrition in particular. It's got to be, in my opinion, all in, and then that 20% comes in when it's family, when it's holidays, when it's travel, when it's almost impossible to stay on track. So that's what I believe. And again, I know that's different than where a lot of people are at, but we'll keep moving forward, and I'll explain where I'm at with my list, and I'll see if I can get through 10. If not, then I'll talk about more in another show. But the top one is propylene glycol. That one is in a lot of supplements, and I guess maybe I should lead with, or would be the proper professional term, maybe the caveat to this is that I feel like, okay, if you're gonna have some of these sometimes, I'm okay with that. But the problem for me is that when it comes to the supplement world, I feel like when you're taking a supplement, you expect that supplement to be healthy, right? So when you go buy a bag of chips, okay, buy a bag of chips and there's probably some canola oil in there, right? Or some boxed food. Like, there's going to be stuff in there that you probably shouldn't consume. But the problem for me is that these are natural supplements and they're supposed to be clean. That's how I understand supplements. And I would guess that the good majority of people understand the same. But, I mean, not knowing that you're putting these toxins in your body that are causing digestion issues, which is one of the reasons why you don't have the energy you want during the day, is because you're taking supplements. And excuse me if I get a little bit passionate here, but this is how we are. Like, this is why we make the cleanest supplements around. And I'll look across the board of different companies, And the thing that bothers me about other supplement companies is that it's not that they choose to be clean across the board. They may choose one or two products that I would consider clean with none of these in here that we're going to go over. But then they have the odd product that do. So I'm thinking to myself, like, we want to be known as the cleanest supplement company around. Like, I don't want to be known just as a supplement company. I should mention that. Like, we teach nutrition, proper nutrition and meal planning. We teach getting active and getting your workouts in, functional movements, how to move your body, how to be more flexible, how to get up off the ground, how to get out of your bed. I've had, I think, 2 or 3 clients just this week said they've gotten up without using their hands. Like, gotten off when they were camping or hiking, when they got off a rock and they didn't use their hands, and they had a friend comment and they're like, well, you got it pretty easy. We have clients that tell us they get out of bed much easier, get off the chair. Like, that is longevity. That is what we do. We help you use your body in a more easier, more functional manner, which is different than we're going to show you how to do curls in the weight room. No thanks. So I think that's worth mentioning, is that it's not, for us, it's not just about supplements. It's about lifestyle. It's about what you're putting in your body. It's about enjoying life, but still making better decisions and being out and active. So when I come back to other supplement companies in particular, I feel like they're like their foot is half in, half out, and they're not really interested in improving people's health, because if they are, why are they putting toxic ingredients in their products, right? Because it was convenient, because it was cheaper, because it looked better. And of course, that's what I'm going over right now. Looking better with titanium dioxide or artificial flavoring, sucralose with better taste, for example. And that kind of stuff bothers me, because I feel like we should be able to trust products. We should be able to trust supplement companies, and we should be able to trust that when we buy a natural supplement, it's going to improve our health, not cause inflammation, which is going to cause chronic pain, not cause digestion issues, which is not only going to ruin our digestive tract, inner stomach acidity, for example, but it's also going to destroy our energy levels. And we're going to be wondering why we used to be able to keep up with our kids or grandkids, and now we can't anymore. So the first one, propylene glycol. This is actually in lots of propylene glycol in particular is very similar to what is it? I think it's antifreeze, and of course these are extremes. But you look at the similar ingredient lists and the chemical balance, and it's like, why are you putting chemicals in supplements at all? I mean, in my opinion, we shouldn't be putting certain types of chemicals in pharmaceuticals, and then we're looking at nutraceuticals, and I feel like it makes the industry a bit dirty, and it turns people away, and again, that bothers me. But propylene glycol is often in cream. It's often in creams or deodorants or things that you put on your skin, and they actually put these. So they put propylene glycol in a lot of liquid supplements. So you look at our product, like we have a liquid mag. Obviously, there's no propylene glycol in it, because I don't believe in that ingredient. And when we were looking at flavoring in particular, liquid flavoring, it was either propylene glycol or it was alcohol. It was very difficult. And to this day, I found one company that has flavoring that doesn't have alcohol or propylene glycol. And I shouldn't say that. I mean, some of their products do have alcohol in it, but we choose products that have zero propylene glycol and zero alcohol. So I think that's important to mention. But a lot of times people get skin irritation. That could be oral consumption, and they get skin irritation on top, right? It's like an allergic reaction. And a lot of times people are rubbing, could be, like you said, lotions or creams that has propylene glycol in it. That's much easier to get a rash that way. And then we have respiratory problems in particular, and I believe because of the fragrance or because of the smell, because we're inhaling that chemical into our body, and that's causing more issues. The next one here is multodextrin. Multodextrin seems to be in everything. And what it is it's a type of sugar. It's a carbohydrate that transfers into a sugar, and it's derived from corn. Now, in my opinion, we recommend staying away from corn products in general. Corn products are genetically modified 98% of them, it's actually the seed that is genetically modified. So that seed growing into a plant, which turns into food, fruit quotations, into a food, is going to cause issues long term. We've seen numerous long term studies around genetically modified foods, and a lot of people don't like to hear this. We live in a farming community. They don't want to hear it because I believe it's cheaper, less pesticides or herbicides, because that's actually coated in the seed now. It grows faster, and you probably get larger crops out of it. So farmers, in many cases, like that. But what I've found is a lot of farmers in our community that grow that, they just ship it out other places, but it ends up coming back to us in one way or another, right? And that's other people. That's not my job to decide other people's livelihoods or what they do or grow or what industry they're in. I don't have any concern about that. All I'm saying is that you should consider the foods that you're consuming. And that's something that we stay away from. We stay away from corn products. When we read ingredients, if we see anything with multodextrin, it's a no-brainer, no thanks. And again, they put that in many supplements. And I think we're hard-pressed to find products without corn in there. You'll actually see companies now coming out with like zero corn products, and they'll have like a picture of a corn on the cob, and it has an X through it or a cross through it, and it says like zero corn product, which means it's not or shouldn't be genetically modified, at least with the corn. And then on top of that, it's I don't know what I was going to say about on top of that. Let's see. Let me know if you guys, those of you that are watching live, let me know if you have questions here about that, about any of the topics that we're going over. I'll be happy to stop and dive into a bit deeper. And then if you guys have questions, if you're listening, for example, my mom jumped in here. Good morning, Mom. And then Amanda jumped in here. Thanks for joining, you guys. I did mention a moment of gratitude or a win. If you guys have any wins that you're coming in and out of here, or you want to drop in the comments, let us know. It's always nice to know what people are grateful for or want to celebrate. I feel like I'm only going to get through half of these on this one. Maybe we'll do a part 2. And in here, let's keep going. So seed oils. Seed oils is a big one. And you know what, I see this in not only in a lot of other supplement companies put seed oils in, but protein in particular, like protein supplements. And I see people get like upset when I talk about seed oils. And it's not like, I feel like it's got to be common knowledge by now. Like so many people are talking about it, like so many experts. And for me, like, so I talked about this one time. I put up, these are the seed oils that I would recommend staying away from. Or I said, the oils that you should probably consume is, my top one is C8 MCT oil, is a medium chain triglyceride. I talk about that quite often, so I won't get into it. But under that, you could look at coconut oil. Now, MCT oil is a chain, or it's a carbon derived from coconut oil, but you also need other fats or other properties from the coconut oil on its own. So I would go with MCT oil, which I would call derived from the coconut oil. Then you still need coconut oil. You could look at a good quality olive oil, but the problem is that olive oils only need to be about 3% of 3% of olive oil, and then it's, you guessed it, these seed oils that I'm talking about. So it's not really olive oil. And then most people don't want to pay 5 times the amount for a good, clean, pure olive oil. So when most people are consuming olive oil, or think they are, they're not. They're consuming a conglomeration or a combination of these different seed oils that are rancid and are toxic to our body. So a good quality avocado or oil, a good quality olive oil, and then you can look at avocado oil. Those are probably my top 3. But in most cases, to be quite honest with you, like, we go with coconut oil and MCT oil. Wow, having trouble getting that out. MCT oil every day across the board, no questions asked. And then coconut oil to cook on high temperatures. And then we also can look at grass-fed butter is a better option as well if you're going to be cooking on higher temperatures. So that's why. So when I started talking about seed oils, people got upset, and they're like, "Oh, like, whatever, blah blah blah." They didn't want to hear that. And anytime you tell someone information that they don't necessarily want to hear, they get upset because they feel like they've been lied to. And the problem with that is is that if you feel like your truth and you've been living that for years, and someone tells you different, they get upset at the person telling you different, because they don't want to, in my opinion, they don't want to change their lifestyle. And it's easier to get angry at that individual and say, I don't need to hear that. That's nonsense. It's easier to say that and keep living the life you are, and justifying whatever supplements or products you're putting in your body, than making a change. So I feel like that's why people actually get upset when you tell them something they don't want to hear. And it's like, I don't know that term, what you call that term, but don't shoot the messenger, right? Like, it's not, I didn't decide. And I'll tell you, this one came up. It was wow butter, like wow butter, and I didn't even know about wow. I didn't know it was a thing. I was like, I live in a little bubble. Like, we eat very clean. I don't really mess around with that other stuff. I don't know what other people are doing unless I'm having conversations with my clients and they're telling me. And no one really told me about wow butter. Dorothy, being in the school system, she told me, like, wow butter's a thing. And I'm like, okay. So I put out this video about wow butter, and it was like a bunch of nonsense. It was like canola oil with maybe palm oil and soy oil, and they turned it into some type of like peanut butter alternative. And people were irate. I was like, I just did a video. I said, this is nonsense. You should be staying away from wow butter because of these ingredients. And people were upset at me. And I was so shocked, because I was like, it's not my fault. Like, I didn't create this horribly toxic, low quality ingredient, like low quality product. Like, we give that to kids, and think about that. So that's causing inflammation in our body, which is going to cause chronic pain. So you're creating chronic pain in your child's body as they get older. And the thing is that that's what people were upset about. They weren't upset about the product. They were upset that I was telling them they were choosing an unhealthy product for their child. So, and to be quite honest with you, it's not my job to tell you what you should give your child. Like, you should make that decision on your own. But I would suggest that that's an educated decision, and you decide and you understand the ingredients and what they do to our body. So that one in particular was eye-opening for me, understanding that people don't necessarily want to hear the truth. They just want to hear this. People are like, oh, the school recommends that. The school won't let me bring peanut butter in. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care what the school recommends. I'm telling you the truth about ingredients and what they do to our body. So if you want to bring that to the school and tell them to stop recommending it, I'm okay with that. That's probably not going to make a change, but you make a change for yourself and for your family. Morning, Jason. Sorry, Jason just jumped in here. But that seed oils in particular, and when people get upset about seed oils, it's because they want to keep consuming those seeds, or they have a friend or family member that farms whatever, different seed oils, and it's maybe not all that healthy, so they feel like I'm attacking their livelihood. I'm not. When I talk about we have family members that have raised cattle for years, for generations, and I say, like, have a steak. Go ahead and have a steak, but don't have a big giant steak. Like in Alberta, I've traveled all over the world, and maybe Texas would be the closest to Alberta steak, but still smaller. You'll go like, I've never been anywhere in the world where I've seen steaks as big as in Alberta. So when I say maybe you don't have such a big steak, people get upset. They're like, oh, like, why are you saying that? That's our industry. That's what we do. And I'm like, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you should understand what's happening to your digestive system when you put a big piece of red meat in your body, this big, wash it down with milk, mashed potatoes, milk and gravy, or mashed potatoes and gravy and a glass of milk, and then we wonder why we have digestive issues, right? We have to put things together for ourselves and understand that the way we are living in particular isn't going to help us see long-term results to actually improve our health. So at any rate, these seed oils here if you guys want this list, send me a message. We have this in a nice PDF. I'll send it over to you. I don't need your email. I don't need your phone number. Just send a message on social media, wherever you're at, and we'll send you this PDF. But it's the soybean, corn, cottonseed, sunflower, safflower, and like, there's nothing wrong with, like, if you look at these individually, like, look at sunflower seeds in particular. Sunflower seeds have fantastic, healthy fats, like good properties. but it's the processing stage. Like palm oil is one of my least favorite products because it's so similar to an MCT oil or like from derived from coconut that a lot of times people interchange them, or they use a palm oil instead of an MCT oil. And the thing is like just like these sunflower seeds or sunflower oil, it's the processing stage. They heat it and they process it and they burn off all the good properties, and it turns it into a rancid product that's a toxin that causes inflammation in our body. So it's not the seed alone. You can eat your sunflower seeds. I probably wouldn't recommend what do they call the David seeds or spits. The spits that I grew up with on the baseball field. Jason, you know what I'm talking about, with all the toxic flavoring, right? that stuff is horrible. It has like 100 ingredients. So at any rate, and then on top of that, what bothers me is we love animals and we love the environment. I would call us environmentalists in our own rights. And what they do with palm oil is they destroy the rainforest to get the fruit to create the palm oil, and it's not even a good product. I watched this horrible video of like they were crushing trees with these big bulldozers to get the palm, so they could have their palm oil. And there was like this orangutan like hitting, like she had like a little baby in her arm, and she was like hitting the bulldozer. It was so sad. It was like break your heart watching that. But people don't care, right? They're like, oh, whatever, that doesn't really affect me. But it does, because if you decide never to buy another product with palm oil in again, then those companies are going to start losing money, and they're going to have to make a change and do something different. But I mean, we have to understand that we can make a difference, and our choices matter. Like, we vote with our money. When you go to a grocery store and you buy low quality products, that manager of the store sees an empty shelf and orders more. If no one buys that product, they don't order more. So that company's got to do something different. So I feel like we can make a change. Now, I understand not everyone feels that way, or not everyone cares that much, but here we are. Let's see. I'm going to wrap this up here. I did 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm going to do 2 more, and then we'll wrap things up. I'll do part 2 another time. So this next one is titanium dioxide. So titanium dioxide is a tough one because when you get your supplements, or let's say pills in particular, you see titanium dioxide in particular, they are bright white. And why are they bright white? Because they did research, and they said they did their case study, and they showed yellowish types of pills and bright white types of pills. And which did people buy more of? The bright white. Unfortunately, they didn't tell you that's titanium dioxide that creates that bright whiteness in pills, and that's a toxin to our body. So that's something that when you're looking at your product on the shelf and you're looking through different supplements of what to buy, if it says titanium dioxide, you put it back on the shelf. Right? They don't have to list it? Dorothy says that...
I'm not 100% on that, but...
Okay, don't quote us, but Dorothy says they may not have to list titanium dioxide. That's horrible. So, I mean, yeah, it's a bit troubling, isn't it? Because if they don't have to list it, how are you going to know if it's in there? That's definitely a problem, but that's one...
I mean, more on pharmaceuticals.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's across the board, though, right? Like, some of the things I'm talking about here, these are going to be in pharmaceuticals, and I would say worse. And I'm not here to tell you not to take pharmaceuticals, or I'm not here to say that there's not a place for them, but you have to understand that there's a lot of stuff in pharmaceuticals that our bodies should not be consuming. So, like, if you're going on antibiotics, for example, or if you have to take your regular medication, whatever that is, I mean, we work towards getting our clients off medication. I think it's clear, like across the board, when it comes to meds in particular, there's usually side effects, right? So if you don't have to take medication, you don't take medication. It's different. Like, nutraceuticals are far different than pharmaceuticals. Like, nutraceuticals are more for prevention. They're more for improving your health. When you look at, and I guess some people would say, well, my meds do improve my health, but if you look at if you have to take them, you probably wouldn't, right? And in most cases, when you're taking one form of medication, you have to take a second form because that the second one counteracts the first one's side effects. And then often, I think there's some crazy study out there, like if you're on one pharmaceutical, you're on 4 or 5. And that's because of the side effects of each one of them that they cause. So we work towards getting our clients off pharmaceuticals whenever possible. And we've successfully been able to do that at least a half a dozen times, and more recently more recently here. And it's different with natural supplements. I feel like you want to take natural supplements because there's no side effects to continue to stay on track and help improve your health in different ways. So very, very different product, probably a different conversation. I'm not going to keep you too much longer here, but I wanted to mention artificial colors. So artificial colors again. So you could look at, this is my last one I'm going to mention, is like Gatorade. That's an easy one. like those sports drinks. Or you could look at Red Bull. Like products aren't supposed to be that bright colored product, right? They're not supposed to be bright blue or bright red or bright orange. Those are artificial coloring that cause toxins to build up in our body. And once those toxins build up, see here's what happens and why so many people have trouble burning body fat is because when you have a toxin in your body doesn't necessarily know what to do with it. In particular, you have, like, over the years, your body continues to accumulate toxins because people never really go through a proper detox. And I'm talking about a lifestyle detox. Not a fast, or not a, like I've heard all kinds of crazy stuff. Like people talk, one person told me, I used to sell my book at bookstores. I used to go for book signings. The book is called Detoxify Yourself, and it was a lifestyle detox that we talk about. And this lady, good morning, baby. And we talk about this. Someone told me they did like a banana detox, but it wasn't like a short-term detox. All they ate was bananas for months, and they had all kinds of crazy stuff happen. Like their hair was falling out, something happened with their teeth, and I was like, "What are you thinking? You can't live like that." So that's not the type of detox I'm talking about in particular. But at any rate, when you continue to put toxins in your body, those toxins continue to build up. And also on top of that is that when we have toxins in our body puts fat cells around those toxins because it doesn't know what to do with it. Can't burn it off as energy, doesn't know how to digest it. Often it just accumulates on our body. And to be honest with you, I feel like that's where many major disease comes from in our body, is that built up toxin over years. As we continue to do that, then we form fat cells to protect it. It's like, I can't get rid of it, so let's protect it. And then your fat cells continue to accumulate, and we're not able to get rid of them. Get rid of those fat cells because we're not getting rid of the toxins in our body that's been building up for years, mostly because we keep putting toxins in our body. At any rate, that's a tough one for me because you can look at refined sugar, and then you look at Gatorade, Powerade. I don't know what else is on there on that list anymore. I'm kind of out of that world, but understanding that those types of products have coloring, added colors, and then it's the same difference when you're having bright colored nutraceuticals. Like your natural supplements are bright colored or they're unnatural. Obviously something's going on there that probably shouldn't be happening. So hopefully that gives you an idea of a handful of products that we stay away from. We recommend you staying away from. Again, we have 5 more. We have a PDF here. If anyone's interested, just shoot us a message and we can send it your way. Last thing I'm going to mention is our Little Black Dress Gala coming up on November 25th. I usually don't date these shows because some people are watching weeks, months, or years later, but we are excited about this event. It's going to be a dinner. It's going to be a dance. We're going to have a DJ. We're going to have some. Pardon me? Yeah, we're gonna have some local businesses around to be there for a trade show type of thing. We're gonna have prizes and giveaways, so it's gonna be an absolute blast. Some of our MAT members are gonna be there. Those that want to, we're going to have them share some of their successes too, because we're super proud of them. Our MAT program is going absolutely amazing. We are, since we started not that long ago. How long have we been going for, Dorothy? 6 months,
Probably, yeah.
maybe 6 months.
I'd have to look back.
Yeah. About we're down as a group combined. The group has lost 245 pounds. In the first week, we're averaging about 8-pound weight loss. We have people that are, I think, up to 22 or 24 pounds. 5, 10, 15. What's your mom? 18? 18. Trudy's down 20. Someone that prefers not to be mentioned, she's down 20 pounds, 19 inches. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun, this MAP program, and working with changing our coaching program and working with these amazing individuals. It's changed quite a few things, and we're super grateful for all the amazing people, clients, and customers that come our way and give us the opportunity to make some changes in their life. I'm going to leave you with that. Save the date, November 25th. We want to give you something to look forward to. Little black dress. Get excited to go out with your friends. Hang out with us. A lot of you haven't seen us in person ever or in a very long time. So we're looking forward to seeing a lot of our local customers that come by and pick up or order. And then, oh yeah, and it's women's only.
Except for the exception of you and Harrison.
Me and Harrison will be the only men there. I think it's nice though, because a lot of times we hear this quite often when we're talking about putting the event together, is that women just don't like to be hit on, or when they go out to the bar, they're worried, or they don't hi baby, they don't necessarily go with their spouse, right? So then their spouse is worried about them going out. So it's just going to be a nice, relaxing night. It's going to be for the ladies only. There's going to be dinner, dancing, and there's going to be drinks. So, I mean, what else do you need? I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you if you're joining live. We appreciate that. If you're catching the replay, let us know that you got the replay as well. It's always nice to know. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll catch you on the next one.